I am so excited about the new Captain America. I think that there's a very real chance that Sam Wilson, aka Falcon, might be a better Captain America than even Steve Rogers was. Welcome to Philosophy All Along, where we think deeply about the things that we love. All right, so let's get right to it. This seems to be like it's going to be a really exciting film. Can't wait for it. And I do not have anything bad to say about Steve Rogers. I love Steve Rogers. Great guy.
That is America's ass.
Right? Across the comics, a great character, a great Captain America. Now we have a new Captain America that was introduced to us through Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How is he going to hold up? Is he going to be able to carry that shield in a way that we feel he's doing a great job? Now let's just get right to where the criticisms are going to be and where they already are. There's a lot of people who want to be able to say things like, oh, this is just a DEI. Oh, they just picked the black guy instead of Bucky Barnes to do it.
I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes.
What I want to look at is actually the speech given by Sam Wilson at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it's that speech that makes me think that he might even be a better Captain America than Steve was. One of the things that he says, and let's go ahead and quote here.
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better.
Only power I have is that I believe we can do better. So that whole speech is him telling these world leaders that they now know what it's like to be powerless because of Thanos. And that places them in a position where they should be more empathetic to the experience of all of these other people for whom, they're losing their homes or that borders are being moved, causing these terrorist type activities. And so what does it mean? Well, to me, it means that Sam might be a better Captain America because he shares something in common with all of us that good old Steve doesn't. Steve, there is at least one very strong criticism to give of Steve. There's a lot of strength to Steve, one of which being is that he's someone that comes from this past that in a lot of ways is very romanticized, right? People were nicer, people were kinder, they were more motivated to help each other. Patriotism was less kind of cynical. And then he's bringing that positivity to our world. But at the same time, Steve is also someone who didn't overcome his own physical barriers just through having to push through it and continue to struggle with his physical barriers of being a smaller and weaker guy.
That wasn't so bad.
That was penicillin.
He simply becomes strong, super strong, stronger than any of us. But Sam doesn't have that, and neither do we. And so that reality of kind of the lack of power, I think makes him, in a lot of ways, a better symbol to us of what it actually means to be a hero. Being a hero is a lot easier when you have superpowers. But when you're just another person with just the struggles that everyone has to deal with, and somehow you don't have anything that makes you special, and yet you find a way to overcome and not just help yourself, but help others, that's a true testament to strength. And so in a lot of ways, Sam is a symbol to all of us that we can do it, that any of us can be Captain America. But it's interesting that when we look at how we want Steve Rogers to kind of bring back that past in some way that he reminds us of a better America, it wasn't a better America for everybody. And I think that tendency to romanticize not just kind of like the white past, but to romanticize these ideas of patriotism and super strength ignores the fact that we, as all potential heroes, really have an opportunity to do good that doesn't require that we pretend things weren't as bad as they were, and doesn't require that we pretend that we have strengths that we don't. In other words, we don't have to pretend that the world is perfect. We don't have to pretend that America is perfect, that we can actually look at what's actually happening, the real struggles shared by people across our country and around the world, and choose to be heroes and come together and try again, remembering that being a hero isn't just about overcoming and being strong, that being a hero is about helping other people, helping people who are not in your position, who don't have your opportunity to do good. So I think that it's really interesting how neatly the problem of Sam addressing the fact that he's a black man and how that gives him some insight into the struggles of people here in the United States and kind of being held back, and how other people are going to view him as Captain America, that is very nicely connected to the fact that it also involves ignoring, on the Steve Rogers side, how not perfect things were in Steve's time, and how Steve creates a kind of idealized version of what a hero should be when it's not attainable for any of the rest of us.
You just ran like 13 miles in 30 minutes.
Guess I got a late start.
Being Sam Wilson, just being another guy with struggles who has to go to work and he joins the military to serve his country. Those are things that many of us can do. And that speech is also worth looking at, in part because it doesn't just speak to that power issue. If we go back to it, he says, "I'm a black man carrying the stars and stripes."
Every time I pick this thing up, I know there are millions of people out there who are going to hate me for it.
Even now, here, I feel it, the stares, the judgment, and there's nothing I can do to change it.
Yet I'm still here. No super serum, no blonde hair or blue eyes.
The only power I have is that I believe we can do better. When he points that out, he's pointing out that having blonde hair and blue eyes is also a power, right? That it gives you access to things in the world that being a black man, he often doesn't have access to. But it's also the superpower of being just accepted as Captain America. That for him to get to be Captain America, people don't just go, oh, okay, he can be Captain America, the way that they would with Steve Rogers. Well, yeah, he gets to be Captain America because he's the first, but he also just gets to be the person that people imagine in terms of his skin color and what he looks like and how he speaks, the person that they imagine when they imagine Captain America. Sam doesn't have that. So for him to be Captain America, he has to deal with the fact that other people are looking at him thinking, oh, that's not really Captain America. That's not what I imagine when I imagine Captain America. And that includes us. That's such a brilliant bit of speech writing there, because it's not just a matter of in-world for them in the MCU that he's recognizing that struggle. It actually ends up being a commentary to all of us viewing it, that there's people watching it who are going, that's not my Cap. That's not who I imagine when I imagine Captain America. And that's a thing that isn't just in-world, but is also being pointed at us. That we, as the viewers of the TV show and now the movie, that yeah, it's like meta aware of the fact that people are going to be critical of Captain America, and that they're going to want to say things like, oh, well, they're just doing that to make themselves virtue signal, and they're just bringing a black man in just to make it look kind of DEI, and all of the things that people are going to say. They're aware. The writers are aware, the producers are aware of the criticism, the actors are aware of the criticism, but also in universe, they're aware that their universe mimics our universe. And that's what makes him such a great Captain America, is the fact that he has struggles that he has to overcome. If Captain America is a symbol both of our country and of us as a people, then Sam being Captain America is perfect, because our country has struggles. It has strengths and it has beauty, and it also has struggles. And we as people, as individuals, and as a population have strengths and we have struggles. And Sam has that in spades. He has things that he needs to overcome. He has obstacles that are facing him. He has people who are looking at him in judgment and disdain, but he chooses to persevere, not in vengeance and hate, but persevere in order to try and do good for everybody. He wants to be a hero, and he is reminding us in a time that we really, really need to be reminded that being a hero isn't about what you can do to other people. It's about what you can do for other people. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this conversation today. Please like, please subscribe. If I missed anything or you want to add a comment, please do. I love to respond. Please share this with other people, and I hope you enjoy the movie. Have a great day.
Don't say it. Don't you say it.
Left.
Come on!